Powerful aftershocks continue to rattle Chile following an 8.2 magnitude earthquake on Tuesday. A 7.6 magnitude tremor struck the region late Wednesday night. Authorities issued a tsunami alert and ordered everyone living in low-lying areas along the 4,000-kilometer Pacific coastline to evacuate.
Falling dead out of the sky.
One homeowner near Highway 9 and I-35 found more than a dozen dead in her yard.
In the last 24 hours, she's observed at least a dozen birds drop dead in her backyard.
2 here, 1 over there. And then this is where it gets a little freaky because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Now, photojournalist Nick Arrington and I found at least another 20 dead birds within a mile of Miller's home.
Morning. The sinkhole takes up both lanes of York Road. In fact, we're not sure how close we want to get to it because you can see here that there is still buckling in the pavement, which is an indication that more of the roadway could cave in. This is a pretty significant sinkhole. I would say it's easily 15 feet in diameter. You can see the guardrail down there. And fortunately, no one was injured in this incident.
Well, the experts warned us we'd be seeing more of this in the spring. The rough winter spawning sinkholes all across Metro Detroit.
And our Fox 2 camera was right there rolling as that car was being pulled out. Our camera also rolling to capture what unexpectedly happened next. Wait till you see it.
Just after a tow truck pulled his Ford Focus from the void on Felch, another unlucky driver took his place.
I think it's ridiculous. They should do something about that. This is a main street here. Right. A lot of traffic.
Got some errands to run today. And you see what I'm dealing with. Friday, April 4th, 2014. We keep saying this will be the last snowfall of the year. Well, I truly hope this one will be. It's snowing over an inch an hour right now.
Residents at this Alabama apartment building awoke to find water quickly rising outside their doors. Birmingham is being pummeled by heavy rain.
When we woke up, it was moving like a river. And so by the time we put on our clothes and opened the door, 5 minutes, it was flooded.
Heavy rains not unusual in Argentina at this time of year, but it's 4 decades since the inhabitants of the western province of Neuquén have seen anything like this.
Good evening. Residents in Coober are counting the cost after heavy rain flooded underground homes, washed away roads and threw train services into chaos. A staggering 115 millimetres of rain fell in less than 12 hours. That's almost the total annual average.
The heavens opened over Coober overnight, bucketing 50 millimetres in an hour. The SES was kept busy pumping water from dugout homes. It received dozens of calls for help. Even the police ran into trouble.
We are on wildfire watch across Arizona. Overnight, we learned that a fire burning in the Huachuca Mountains near Sierra Vista jumped dramatically in size. This is the Brown Fire. The photo you see here, it is now up to 366 acres. A lot of crews there fighting this fire, and it is at 0% containment. The other fire we are tracking is the Fisher Fire, burning near Flagstaff. At last check, the Fisher Fire is at 145 acres. It is 90% contained. That's the good news.
Up-to-date Cyclone Ida, of course, crossed the coast at Cape Flattery. That was late last night. Now, the historic town of Cooktown bore the brunt of the massive storm. Paul Burt was there.
As Ida struck, pieces of Cooktown were stripped away. Winds at the cyclone's core reached 200 kilometres an hour as the eye passed over Cape Flattery just before 10 o'clock.
All hell was breaking loose outside, absolutely. So, it was just shocking.
More than 300 Cooktown residents rode out the storm in an evacuation centre. They were locked inside.
The point is, I want to go and secure my roof while it's daylight instead of being locked in here.
Officially, Ita weakened as it moved inland this morning. That meant little to residents of the Atherton Tablelands. The downgraded cyclone still savaged dozens of towns. Kuranda residents say it was terrifying.
We heard a blood-curdling scream and a crash of a tree, and what's happened is the neighbour's house has been totally crushed. The only thing left is a bedroom or two.
A forest fire has destroyed more than 500 houses in Valparaiso, about 120 kilometers northwest of Santiago, Chile. Power outages were reported in several areas and drinking water supplies were suspended. Firefighters from neighbouring districts struggled with the local fire department to stop the flames from spreading. One local resident said the fire was on the top and down there, and we were in the middle. We had to get out of there. It was very bad.
There's been a spike in the number of dead marine animals washing up on the shore. Since late last week, animals including dolphins, sharks, whales, and turtles have washed up dead along our coast. Action News' Erica Bennett went to the experts to find out what's behind it all. It's new at 5:30.
Biologists say there's been an influx in the number of dead marine animals, and today we're digging deeper into the mystery.
In the last 2 weeks, we have had 6 dolphins strand, we had a couple manatee deaths, and then we had a humpback whale over the weekend.
And that's not all. Viewers sent us these new pictures of shark remains and sea turtles.
It was crazy just seeing a dead one.
Since July of last year, 80 have washed up in Northeast Florida. In that same time frame, 1,200 ended up dead from New York to the Sunshine State, which is way more than the 180 a year average.
These incredible images show thick clouds and fumes of smoke spewing from one of Peru's most active volcanoes. Officials say the eruptions at the Ubinas volcano have now risen to more than 4,000 meters in height, prompting the government to declare a state of emergency for nearby villages.
Something that caused any damage, but it certainly got people talking here in Keene, as well as one town over in Swansea. It seemed that everybody felt it or heard it, and no one knew exactly what it was.
It was a loud, loud boom. Shook the whole house.
It was around 2:15 Wednesday afternoon. Jim Vitus had just put his twins down for a nap at his Swansea home, but they didn't stay asleep for long. A rushing noise lasting 2 to 3 seconds got their attention.
No, I thought a propane tank blew up or something hit the house, a truck hit the house or something, but then, no, after that we kind of figured that something that loud that was heard all over was a sonic boom.
But the Massachusetts Air National Guard says that's not the case. They were in the area training, but say air traffic control officials confirmed via their tracking systems that the sound barrier was not broken by our jets. The Massachusetts Guard says it was simply the sounds of jet engines.
Apparently no deaths, but plenty of rubble and plenty of scared people. In this apartment block in Mexico City, you can see cracks in the wall and broken plaster, caused by 90+ seconds of terror. It's amazing no one was hurt. Amateur footage showing a wall collapsing as the quake hit.
Officials are calling it the deadliest accident ever to happen on Mount Everest. A group of 50 people, mostly Nepalese Sherpas, were climbing Mount Everest to help repair ropes there, but they only made it to about 20,000 feet when disaster struck. At least 12 Sherpa guides, legendary mountaineers, were swept away and killed in the avalanche Friday morning. CNN notes several others are still missing.
Deadly epidemic is now being called a serious threat to regional security in Western Africa. The outbreak of suspected Ebola virus has already killed 70 people in Guinea, and it is spreading. The highly contagious virus, which causes uncontrollable bleeding and quick death, has spread from the countryside to the capital, a city of 2 million people.
Jackson hillside continues to creep closer and closer to a catastrophe.
The earth has dropped at least 15 feet.
That drop resulted in this. A house nearly split in two. The initial quick fix for the slide was a buttress, but because of continued instability, town officials are looking at Plan B.
At least 3 people are dead and 2 are missing after weekend floods in Romania. Heavy rainfall coincided with melting snow, hitting the south the hardest, where several rivers burst their banks and roads were cut by landslides. Bulgaria and Serbia were also hit, with the latter warning the situation is critical in several municipalities.
Jersey. You can see it there. About 1,500 acres are scorched. These are the remote woodlands there in the Edward Bevan Fish and Wildlife Management Area, again in down township Cumberland County. The good news there is that so right now buildings or people are not in danger, and our understanding is they had about 50 firefighters out there last night trying to contain this thing.
A massive sandstorm has swept through northeastern China, causing over 100 fires and extensive damage. Turning the middle of the day into night, visibility has been reduced to nearly zero in some states.
Days of heavy rains followed by flash flooding have Afghans salvaging everything they can and scrambling for help. The floods have killed more than 100 people and left thousands homeless.
Our weather coverage continues now from the high country, which is looking very white tonight, as you can see. ABC 15's Lauren Vargas joins us now from a very snowy Flagstaff.
Flagstaff is covered in snow right now. We're in the heart of downtown, and practically everything you see is blanketed in white.
25 million Americans are still on alert in the worst tornado outbreak of the season. A long and dangerous night ahead. Just hours ago, this was the scene, a large twister striking Tupelo, Mississippi, estimated at a mile wide. And this is after dozens of tornadoes were bearing down in the Midwest and South. And one of the most powerful roared through the outskirts of Little Rock, Arkansas, carving a trail on the ground for 40 miles. And leaving images like these, stunned families who barely survived their shattered homes, reduced to splinters.
The Mulligan family saw their neighborhood in Bologna, Arkansas for the first time today, completely flattened.
We just held hands, and then we saw the whole back of the house go.
But that is on the ground. Look how wide it is.
Reports of 10 tornadoes overnight in North Carolina, destroying or damaging more than 140 homes and businesses.
Oh, yeah, look at that now. Wow, that's amazing.
Falling hail the size of quarters. And damaging winds and rain knocked out power to thousands, ripping into people's homes.
Cars resembling concertinas, devastated houses, and even upturned boats were left in the wake of multiple tornadoes in the U.S. state of North Carolina. Residents surveyed the damage from the powerful storms. Around 150 homes were destroyed and more than a dozen people sent to the emergency room.
The
near the airport, West Jackson. Tornado touchdown has been confirmed at this instant. You'll have to give me a second. We took a power hit here at the studio, and I have to get all of my ability to look and see things back. Let's see if we're still on the air. You've got to be in your tornado sequence. We're still on the air. This is a tornado emergency for Lee County. This is a tornado ripping through the city of Tupelo as we speak, and this could be deadly. Let's go tower cam. There's a damaging tornado on the ground right now. Basement now. Basement now. Let's go. Now.
It is now 4 straight days of violent weather in the South and the Midwest. In all, 65 tornadoes, followed today by torrential rain and flooding. This is the Florida Panhandle after the biggest rainfall there in decades. Hundreds of people had to be rescued from cars and houses. In Pensacola, where the rain set a record, part of the scenic highway was washed away. The flooding is blamed for at least 1 death in all since Sunday. The storm death toll is at least 38, and thousands of homes have been damaged. The storm that brought rain all the way up to the East Coast today in Baltimore, a city street gave way in a landslide. Cars, pavement, and mud wound up on freight tracks below. Homes were evacuated as a precaution, no injuries.
Oh my God!
No, no, stay in.